welcome to Decoding the Digital Lab with CSols, the podcast that ponders the complexities and potential of laboratory informatics. I'm your host, Megan Pettyjohn, and in this series, we're sharing insights and knowledge from the top industry professionals. Today, we're exploring the critical human side of digital transformation in the lab. Joining me is Michele Zelk, a lab informatics project manager with a unique talent for getting derailed projects back on track. Michele, thank you for joining me today.
Hi, Megan. It's great to be here. This is a topic that I'm really passionate about because leading successful lab transformations isn't just about delivering the technology. It's about aligning people, process, and purpose. Even the best systems can fail if the human element isn't thought through.
True. The LIMS could have been implemented fully, but if the end users aren't using the software, is it really a success? It's actually why I'm glad we're diving into this topic today. It's something that our team at CSols feels is so critical for a successful lab digitization because it's not just about the shiny new software, it has to be about the people and the culture.
Very true. Did you know that only 11 to 12% of medium and large sized technology projects are successful?
Mm-mm.
But the good news is that research suggests that when you engage the people impacted, projects are 6 times more likely to meet objectives, 5 times more likely to stay on schedule, and almost 2 times more likely to stay on budget. Seems worth it to me.
Oh my gosh, I agree. But of course, it's easier said than done. Businesses have to recognize the value of change management and not place so much weight on the software alone. What are some of the common refrains you hear from clients when they feel their implementation has failed?
Yeah, so what I hear most is the system wasn't implemented properly and our users just can't even use it. In reality, it's rarely a technical failure. It's a leadership gap. When your teams aren't really prepared and don't actively participate in the process along the way, lab workflows don't reflect how the labs really operate, and adoption just stalls. The issue is a lack of alignment and ownership, not functionality.
It's like blaming the hammer when you haven't taught somebody how to swing it. Let's talk more about the resources on the team. I'm hearing you say that the teams need to be informed and engaged, but what about having the right people on the team from the start?
Well, it's actually pretty common for consulting firms to assign IT developers to a lab project team. Those resources are really great at writing code, but have no experience with lab science or workflows. This can result in a system that's unusable and will require costly rework. So they might not actually be the right people on the team. I would say when using a consultancy, make sure their team has hands on experience with both the technology and the science. That's how you bridge that gap.
That scientific understanding is key. You can't optimize a workflow you don't understand. And that lack of understanding can really prolong projects and waste resources.
Exactly. When the science isn't understood, the system is developed in a vacuum. You lose all the nuances of how the lab actually operates day to day. And that can have a really significant impact, like wrong configuration or customizations, end user frustration, and long project delays due to rework. Scientific understanding shouldn't be viewed as a nice to have. It's essential to building a system that works in practice and not just in theory.
Aside from developing the system to work in a specific lab, training is also necessary.
It is, and too often training and user engagement is undervalued. No one wants to find out that after a long, expensive implementation, the system isn't even being used. Not because it's broken, but because users weren't trained or the system wasn't designed with them in mind. The issue is often misdiagnosed as an implementation failure, and then the client spends even more time and money trying to fix the wrong problem. The right training and preparation can keep all of that from happening. At the end of the day, it's not the implementation that brings the value, it's whether people actually use it.
So true. And it's not just about the initial training, is it? It goes beyond the basic how to of clicking buttons.
Yeah, it really does. Real organizational change management is more complex than training people to click the right buttons. It's about communicating the vision or the why of implementing the new system, building trust with your end users, and listening to and really addressing the concerns. When people feel heard and understood, buy-in just naturally follows. Sometimes that means redefining roles or creating space for collaboration between human experience and AI. And that requires a lot of trust in the AI platform and in leadership. I've read a lot of publications like Lab Manager that emphasize this holistic approach because successful adoption depends as much on the culture as it does on capability.
Yeah, that's a good point about trust with AI. It's important to recognize there are a lot of articles lately that have highlighted the need for trust and transparency in AI driven processes within the lab.
Yeah, exactly. If the lab staff doesn't trust how AI is making decisions, or worse, they don't understand it, they're just not going to use it. Building trust in evolving technology means being transparent about how the system works and showing through real validation that it delivers accurate and reliable results. You can't just say, trust the tool. You have to earn that trust.
What about ethical considerations?
It's true that there are ethical considerations around data privacy, potential biases in the AI algorithms that need to be addressed proactively as part of this cultural shift. The use of AI has to be integrated thoughtfully and ethically into the lab's workflows and culture.
And that integration piece is also key. New digital tools, whether it's AI or new limbs, are a part of an interconnected web within the lab. They need to seamlessly communicate with everything else.
Yeah, true. Industry SMEs consistently write about the challenges and the importance of seamless integration and interoperability between these new systems and existing lab infrastructure. Things like LIMS, ELNs, and other analytical instruments. If these systems don't talk to each other effectively, you actually create new data silos and lose a lot of the potential benefits of digitalization.
But where does the human aspect apply here?
Well, this technical integration needs to be managed hand in hand with the organizational readiness and workflow integration to be a truly unified and efficient laboratory program results. It all comes back to that central idea. It's a culture shift. It's not just a tool.
How do you ensure that this complex technical integration isn't just a back end process, but truly supports and gets adopted by the end users in their day to day work?
Yeah, and some of these points have already been touched on briefly in our conversation here. But at the top of my list would be building trust. And how do you do that? You do what you say you're going to do. Also, be transparent. Let the end users know what to really expect. Don't sugarcoat things. Also, reinforce commitment that some end users will already have and build on that. Use that to leverage commitment through those who are maybe a little iffy. Determine where their resistance is coming from. There's lots of places it could be coming from, like fear of losing a job, all kinds of things that can affect that. And where the resistance is coming from determines what OCM strategies you use to turn it around.
Well, Michelle, this has been such a good conversation, really highlighting that the human element is just as, if not more, critical than the technology itself when it comes to a successful lab digital transformation. If you could share one tip or a piece of advice for our listeners to be excellent at OCM, what would that be?
Well, I'd say the key takeaway is that digital transformation in the lab isn't a technology project, it's a people project. Taking a holistic approach isn't about being soft, it's just about being smart. It's the fastest path to realizing tangible value from your investment.
Michelle, I appreciate you sharing your expertise with us today.
My pleasure, Megan. It's a message I think is so important for labs to hear right now.
And thanks to everyone for joining this episode of Decoding the Digital Lab with CSols. We'll see you next time, and hit the follow button if you're enjoying the content. We also have a newsletter that highlights current events on a weekly basis, which you can sign up for at the link below. We'll see you next time.